Hello students, let's read this question. Maria's party store sells bingo cards and each bingo package contains 24 cards. Which of the following graphs represent the number of packages X and the number of cards Y? Okay guys, so let's start by identifying important information in our problem. Maria's party store sells bingo cards. Each bingo package has 24 cards. Now the question is, which represent the number of packages X and the number of cards Y? Great. So with the circle or underline, we're gonna box the question, which basically is the same information we already highlighted in here, which represent the number of packages X and the number of cards Y. For elaborate, I'm gonna come out with the equation. And they say here that Y, and they put it in orange, Y is gonna be the number of cards. And I'm gonna write the number of cards underneath the Y. Okay, so you see how I got this in orange? Because I highlighted this in orange in the problem. Okay, the other thing that we know is what we put in pink, that each packet has 24 cards. So let's start thinking about it. If we have one packet, I'm gonna put the number right here. If I have one packet, then I will have 24 cards, right? What about if I change the number of packets? What if I have two packets? I will have to repeat the 24 now 2 times. Great. What about if I have 3 packets? We will have to repeat the 24 now 3 times. Great. Now, the number that is changing is called the variable. And then here for X, they're using the bright green. And you notice that this number here is changing. So that's the number that's going to be our variable. And this 24 remains the same. This is going to be our constant. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring down the Y, which is a number of cards. And then I'm going to bring down the equal sign. Instead of this 1, 2, 3, we're going to put the X. Excellent. And the 24. But the constants normally go in the front when we write equations. And then here behind, I'm going to put the X. And I'm going to highlight that in bright green. That 24 is a constant, and then our Y is going to be our total. Okay, great. So this is the equation that we're going to be using. Now I'm going to go to the graph in choice A. And for the number of packets, I'm going to be highlighting this in bright green. And the number of bingo cards will be the total that goes in yellow. And I'm sorry, in orange, like this. Okay, so let's look at the first one. For the first one, we have 2 tickets and the total is 48. So let's look at this, guys. When there are 2 tickets, here the total is 48. So we can do that operation on the side. And here I'm going to put a squiggle and I'm going to choose, I'm going to record letter A. So for the graph A, guys, we have the equation Y equals 24 times X. And then notice here the first value that we have, the total in the graph reads 48. So I'm going to copy that number here on the 48. Equals 24 times, and this number here is 2. And this is correct, and I'm gonna just highlight my numbers so you can see better and track me from where I'm getting these numbers. And this 2 comes from the X. And I know how to multiply 24 times 2, and that's 48. So this point is working so far. Great. Now we're gonna do the next one. The total for the next point right here on the graph reads 72. So I'm gonna write that number right here. So 72 must be equal to 24 times the number of packets. In this case is a 4. If I multiply these numbers, I multiply 4 times 4, that's 16. 6 and I carry 1. Then 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, 96. And 72 is not the same as 96. So this point here, this one did work, but this point didn't work. And when one point is not working, there's no case on checking the other ones because all the points must work so the graph can represent the situation. And just so you can track me better here, you see this 72, we got it from the orange side of the table, and this 4 here, we got it from the x-axis, right there. Now we're gonna be checking in choice B. So we're gonna focus on graph B right now, and then on the x-axis we have the number of packages. These are the values of x. And then on the y-axis, we have the number of bingo cards, which is the total. And we're gonna look at the first point that we have. For this point in this graph, the number of packages is these two right here. You see that, guys? And then if I come from this point towards the y-axis, which is the total, it's gonna give me a value of 48. Great. What it means is that if I use this equation, this number y must be equal to 24 times 2. And in this case, the value of y is 48. And this is true because 24 times 2 is 48. And you see this 48, we're reading that from here. And this 2, we're reading it from here. I want to put that in here. And this point works. Great. Now we're going to look at this other point. And on this other point, the value of y is 120. You see this, guys? This is 120. And the value of x down here, you see that, guys? Is a 4. I'm going to highlight that in black. This here, this is this number here. And the other one is this number here. This is how we read our values. We go towards the x-axis and we go towards the y-axis. For point 2, the equation that we have is y equals, and in this case, y is 120. So 120 must be equal to 24 times, and what's the value that we have for the second point? This is a 4. So on the side for choice B, I'm going to write that here. I'm going to multiply these values for the second point. So I'm going to multiply 24 times 4. And I actually multiply that one on the top. I know it's 96. And here the graph reads 120, but we know it's 96. So this point right here is just not working. See that, guys? Okay, great. Now let's look at graph C. For graph C, these are the number of packets on the bottom. And then on the y-axis, we have the total number of bingo cards, like this. And I'm going to analyze the first point. For the first point, we have 1 and 24. And the equation says that the total y equal 24 times x. And in this case, the y is a 24, as this value right here. And the x is a number 1. And 24 times 1, like here, it is 24. So this point right here, it works. Now we're going to do that for this point right here. For the second point, we have a value of 3, and the total should be 72. So if I multiply 24 times x, but in this case it's a 3, 24 times 3, That gives me 72. So this point is working. Great. Now I'm gonna look at the next one. For this point here, the value of x is a 5 and the total should be 120. And I'm gonna do that on the side. Now it's a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna do it on the side. Okay guys, so for letter C, I'm gonna write my equation that is the same for the full graph because we're looking at one that matches the statement on the top. The equation reads y equals 24 times x. We're gonna check the third point, right? So for that value, we have 120 on the y side. That must be equal to 24 times, and in this case, the third point has a value of 5. And I'm gonna multiply side to side. This value, we got it from the y side, and this number 5, we got it, that should be green. We got it from the x-axis, that's the number of tickets. And we can multiply by doing this, guys. So we don't have to take a lot of space. So this is gonna be 5 times 4 is 20. 0 and I carry 2. 5 times 2, 10, plus 2, that's 12. And 120, it is the same as 120. What it means is this point here, it's working. Awesome. Now let's check the next point right here. This is 7. And the total here is 168. So if I multiply 24 by this 7, we should be getting 168. So let's do it. We should be getting 168 when we multiply 24 times the number of tickets, in this case is a 7. And this value, we got it from the left side, and the number of tickets, we got it from here. And remember, we can multiply side to side like this, and the number we carry goes on top of this. 7 times 4, 28. 8, and I carry 2. 7 times 2, 14, plus 2, 16. If you feel more comfortable doing the multiplication vertical, then you can do it on the side. You can pause the video and just compare your answer at the end. Okay, so when we multiply 24 by 7, we got 168, which is really the value that we got right here. You see that, guys? So when multiplying 24 by this number of tickets, we should be getting this value of y. So this point also is working. So looks like everything's working here. Let's just check the last one. And for this one, we have number 9 tickets. For 9 tickets, this point indicates that the total should be this amount that we have on the left side, which it reads like a 216. Okay, so yeah, it should be 216 when the number of tickets is 9. So let's do that one here. So I'm gonna say the number of tickets, which the total is 216, should be equal, we got that from the left side right here. That should be equal to 24, that is our constant, times the number of tickets, and for this case is 9. And I highlight that in bright green because I got it from here. You see, guys? And then I can multiply side to side, so I don't have to take a lot of space. And I'm gonna do 9 times 4, 36. 6 and we carry 3. 9 times 2, 18. 18 plus 3, 21. And the value matches. So looks like we found our answer, right? All the points, they comply with the rule. And do we have to check D? Yes, we have to check D because we don't want to take any risks of not getting our right answers when we're taking our assessments. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Right here, this is the total. And down here is the number of tickets. So remember that we are multiplying 24 by this number, and we should be getting this number here. So y should be equals to 24 times x. In this case, what's the value of y? 48, great. And that should be equal to 24 times 2, because this is the number that we have here. And it's true. So far this is working. Now we're going to check the second dot. The second dot, I'm going to write it right here. Y equals 24 times x. And for the second dot, I don't really see the value of y. You see that this dot, if I move towards the y, is in between 72 and 96, closer to 96, but I don't really exactly what the value is, but I know it should be less than 96. And the number here, the number of packages is a 4. This is a 4, so the 4 will be here. So that will be 24 times 4. And 24 times 4, we already did it on the side. When we multiply 24 by 4, we got 96. So this dot here is incorrect because look, if I move towards the left, I don't hit the 96, I land below 96. But based on the equation, we must land on 96. So that means this dot here is incorrect. So our answer absolutely is gonna be letter C. Awesome, guys. Thank you.